Now, let's talk everything about legato that you need to know to play faster. But first, if you haven't filmed yourself playing the absolute fastest thing that you know currently, go pause the video and do it right now. Good, now you should have your video done. Now, legato. First, what is legato? Well, I already talked about how it's a series of hammer-ons and pull-offs. And when we have hammer-ons and pull-offs, there are a lot of ways to do that, meaning a lot of finger combinations. For example, I might pull off from like with my pinky to my index finger or with my middle finger to my index finger. And it's quite common sense that when we practice every single situation that might occur in a song that we play or in an improvisation that we do. So we have to practice every finger combination. That means, for example, these two fingers, the first two, then these two fingers, the middle two, then the last two fingers, then the first three fingers, then the last three fingers, and so on. So don't skip any finger combination. When we do an exercise, we have to do it with every single finger combination. So I'll show you an exercise that you could use. It's not very musical, but it is helpful. So first you master that and then move on to the harder stuff. Now, what are the harder stuff? Well, it's practicing on all strings, because this exercise will probably focus on just one string at a time, but when we practice on all strings, there might be some different problems that occur. For example, what's easier on the higher strings, like the first string, meaning the highest, the high E string? Well, it's usually easier to do pull-offs there because we don't have any strings that are below it, like we could use as much force as we'd like and it wouldn't really sound bad. But if we try to use as much force as we like for the pull-offs on, say, the low E string, well, then we will go into the higher in pitch string. So for example, I might pull off the fifth string and it will sound bad. So the easiest thing is to do pull-offs on the high E string, but we have to practice pull-offs on every single string, right? So we do that. But also we do the same thing with hammer-ons. Why? Well, the high E string is quite thin and it's not that easy to do hammer-ons on it, while compared to the low E string, it's quite harder actually, because the low E string is the thickest string that we have and you really don't need that much force to do hammer-ons on it. So, of course, we practice it on every single string so that we get used to it, and whatever finger combination or whatever part of like legato lick that we encounter in a song, whatever string it is on, whatever finger combination it uses, well, we are sure that we could play it, right? Great, so now we could do legato on every single string with every single finger combination. But when we play something fast, it's usually the place where problems occur. And I think for me and for many other guitar players out there, the problem that occurs when playing fast is precision. So, talking about legato, we have to work on our fretting hand precision, so the finger precision. Because what's hard? Well, say that we play 7, 9 and 10 and then 7, 8 and 10 and we do 7, 9, 10, 7, 8, 10, 7, 9, 10, 7, 8, 10. Well, at some point we'll probably mess up and play 7, 9, 10 twice, but not, or maybe we might mess the other way around and play 7, 8, 10 twice. And that's what we need to work on. So I'll give you legato lick that focuses on this exact thing and it's based on the diminished scale. So it's really a scale that's quite helpful with finger precision because there's only two patterns that we play and we alternate between both of them when going to the next string. So first we play 7, 9 and 10, then 7, 8 and 10, then again 7, 9 and 10, even though we position shift a little bit, like one fret lower. But that is why this diminished scale legato lick is helpful. Aside from precision, the other 40 aspect for me was not having enough finger strength. And this was really when I was playing on my Strat over there, because as I told you, the action was higher. But what I've been doing recently, both when playing on this guitar, like my Jackson, and the Strat, is picking only when I go to the higher string. So for example, I might play, let's say 3, 5 and 7 on the D string, so the fourth string, and then 3, 5, 7 on the G string. And then again, 3, 5, 7 on the D string. So D, G, D. Okay, when will I pick? Well, I will pick when I go from the D string to the G string, so I pick on the D, then I pick on the G, so I'm picking when I'm going up the strings, and then when I go back to the D string, I won't pick. Why? Well, because as I told you, hammer-ons are easier on the lower string, so when I go to a lower string, well, I should be able to make it vibrate by just doing a hammer-on on it. Why? Well, it's easier than the other string, and I made it on the higher string, so I have to be able to play it on the easier one, right?